Hi, I'm Kristine Weber. Thank you for joining my weekly live stream. I love to help mature yoga teachers let their wisdom shine. Like, you've got a lot to offer, and I want to help you to improve that and feel good about it. Okay, so today I am continuing my series of breathing in asanas. So I did down dog, I think, the first week. And the second week, we worked on Ardha Chandra, which is also called crescent moon sometimes, this one, lateral bend. And then I got a lot of requests, and I'm so happy to take requests. I'm taking requests for asanas that you want to explore, look more into the breathing, how it can help catalyze the pose. So give me your requests. Today, however, the requests that I got last week were for triangle pose, which I often call the pose that shall not be named. And the reason I give it that Voldemort epithet is because many times people think triangle pose has to look like the cover of Yoga Journal, and it really doesn't. There's many ways to work with triangle pose. Triangle pose is just incredibly versatile. There's so much to it, and I would like to show you one version of it today as a lateral bend that really helps to create more space in the intercostals. Why do I care about breathing in asana so much? Because for two reasons. One is when you know how to direct your breath, then you get the movement not just from sort of the musculoskeletal part of things, but you start to get some shifts internally, right? It's like breath is like massaging your body from the inside out. So that's one of the reasons I'm so interested. The second reason is that breathing really catalyzes the effects of the asana. So asanas tend to be in one of two categories, brahmana or langana. Brahmana means nourishing, building up, energizing. Langana means reducing, letting go, relaxing, right? So you have these two different ways you can use asanas. And so when we know which category the asanas tend to fall in, then we can use the breath as a way to kind of catalyze or shift or enhance that effect. And so that's the other reason I really like breathing. Then there's actually a third reason, and that is because the breath helps to increase interoceptive awareness. It helps us to feel our bodies in ways that we don't feel if we're just inhale, arms up, exhale, arms down. And I'm always saying that, like, there's so much more to breathing than inhale, arms up, exhale, arms down. And if that's how you teach, I'm not criticizing that. I'm saying that you can inhale, you can make it more interesting. That's all I'm saying about it. And you'll enjoy it yourself, and your students are really going to like it too. So let's go ahead and get into triangle pose. If you're not warm, just watch this, and the next time you do triangle pose, you can do it. If you haven't done some warm-ups, I usually wouldn't go right into triangle pose cold. Okay, so wide stance, comfortably wide. It doesn't have to be under your wrist, but if you want it to be under your wrist, it can, but it can be a little bit more narrow. Using a block is great too for triangle pose. I'm just going to use my leg today though. And then I'm going to rotate my right foot out and my left foot in a little bit. Your left foot out, your right foot, if you want to mirror me. And then, so the first thing I'm going to think about is, what is a lateral bend? Lateral bend means I'm going to feel side body bending, right? So a triangle pose could be used as more of an axial extension with some flexion in the hip. Some people use it that way. That's fine. That's just not how I'm teaching it right now. Right now I'm thinking about, let's get some lateral bending going here. So the first thing I'm going to do, just to get ready, is put my right hand on my right leg, and then my left hand's just going to do some kind of drapey movement. So I'm going to take breath in, get a little taller, and then on the exhale, I'm just going to let my left hand kind of drape so I feel what's going on in that lateral bend. And as you notice, I've just got my right hand like just below my kneecap to start. Inhale back up. Some people are going to go right down, but for me, it just feels good to kind of explore, and I'm going to drape down maybe to my shin a bit here. I've got this nice loopy thing going on. I'm not trying to get straight in my side body, and I couldn't care less about crunching my right waist because I'm trying to stretch my side body, so I'm going to crunch my right waist a little bit. Now this time I'm going to stay here, exhaling down, and now I get to work a little bit with the breath. So on the inhale, I'm going to work my breath into my left ribs, intercostals, even into my psoas a little bit, and my armpit. And when I exhale, I'm going to draw my belly in a little more. I'm going to inhale into my left ribs, intercostals, psoas, waist, armpit, exhale, belly. Do that one more time. Okay, and then when I'm ready, inhale, float back up. Now, as I mentioned, triangle pose is very versatile. There are many different things I can do in it, many different things. So I don't want you to get the idea that that's the only way I teach triangle pose. This is one. That's just one version. So take a moment and notice what that did. And all we did was like 6 breaths. So you feel all that stuff on the one side of your body and how it feels different than the other side. So let's try the other side. So turning the feet to the other in the other direction. And I could do lots of different things here. This is just the one I'm focusing on today. The hips stay relatively neutral. One way to figure that out is kind of wiggle and then go, can I get my weight into both my feet equally? Because when I wiggle to the right compared to wiggle to the left, I have different distribution of weight in my feet. So can I get that kind of even? And that's a good place to kind of plumb line your pelvis. And then take a breath, arms come up. And on the exhale, I'm just going to slide down my left leg and let the right arm come over. So feel that lateral bend. And inhale, slide it back up. So you can see why I don't like to call this triangle pose, because people will be like, that's a triangle pose. What is she talking about? So I often will just call it a lateral bend. And then this time, we'll stay here in the pose, and then we'll just work with the breath. So I'm going to breathe into my right ribs, right armpit, right waist, right psoas, and then on my exhale, I'm going to draw the belly in. And that is supportive to the low back. So inhale, because this is a pose that for a lot of people will mess with your SI. You have to be careful of that. And not going as deep is a good, is definitely important. Working on developing your glutes is important. I'm just breathing into my right ribs and my right armpit, my right waist. Then I'm using my exhale to draw the belly in a bit. And one more time. And then use your inhale to push down hard into your feet and stand up. Exhale, float the arms down, and then notice all those radiant sensations on that side. And hopefully they feel a little more similar to the first side. And then it is important after lateral bends to do a forward bend to integrate and bring the nervous system as well as the biomechanical structures back into more of a neutral state. So hands on the hips, take a breath in, and then on the exhale, we'll just slide down, maybe to your knees or shins. Some people ankles, no problem. It's up to you. Inhale, lengthen as you come back up. Exhale from your belly, draw the lower belly in. Soften your knees, tuck your chin in. When you inhale, lengthen your spine to come back up. And we'll do that one more time. Exhaling down and then floating back up on the inhale. And then walk your feet back to mountain pose. So I would love to hear from you, your experience. How did that feel working with triangle pose, working with the breath in triangle pose? And what other asanas would you like me to explore breathing with you on? If you want to study with me regularly, please check out the Subtle Yoga Resilience Society. That is my membership group. I teach live every Wednesday. I'd love you to join and be able to study with me more. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next week. Lots of love.